All right, so we're diving into some pretty intense stuff today.
Yeah, definitely powerful stuff.
These lyrics, Civil War, a song of division and loss.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean, they paint such a vivid picture, even just reading them.
They really do.
You're right there in the middle of the conflict.
The imagery is so strong.
It's almost like you can feel the chaos and the uncertainty.
Absolutely. And the way it starts off, smoke in the air, dust on my skin.
Right away, you're like thrown into the scene.
It's visceral, you can practically feel it.
And it's not just the physical stuff either.
No, it's that feeling of being completely lost.
Like lines are drawn, don't know where to begin.
Yeah, that sense of disorientation.
It's like you're caught in this whirlwind and you have no idea which way to turn.
It really captures the essence of war, that feeling of being overwhelmed.
And then it goes even deeper, talking about how brothers turn, sisters fall.
Oh, yeah, that line is just heartbreaking.
It's not just about armies fighting.
It's about the breakdown of relationships.
The people who are supposed to be closest to you, suddenly they're your enemies.
Exactly. It's like the war tears apart the very fabric of society.
Families are divided, communities are shattered.
It makes you think about all the civil wars throughout history.
And how those divisions have had such lasting impacts.
Absolutely. The scars run deep.
And speaking of things being torn apart, this song also talks a lot about loss of freedom.
Yeah, that's a key theme throughout.
And it's not just about being physically imprisoned or anything.
It's more about the erosion of freedom.
Like how freedom fades before our eyes.
That gradual loss of ideals, of individuality.
You're forced to conform, to give up parts of yourself.
It's like the war itself consumes everything.
Makes you wonder if that's what they mean by echoes of freedom lost in the call.
That's an interesting thought.
Like the very act of going to war, no matter which side you're on, comes at a cost.
You sacrifice something precious, even if you don't realize it at the time.
And then what happens when the war is over?
Did those freedoms ever fully return?
Or are you left with just echoes of what once was?
It's a question worth pondering.
And then there's that powerful image of the burning flag.
Oh yeah, the flags don't wave, they burn in the sky.
Flags are usually symbols of hope, unity, all that.
They represent something bigger than ourselves.
So to see them burning, it's like a complete reversal of that.
It's a symbol of destruction, of the loss of everything the flag stood for.
It's not just fabric burning, it's like the ideals themselves are going up in smoke.
Exactly, that shared sense of purpose, it's just gone.
And it makes you wonder, what happens when those ideals are lost?
What fills the void?
Because something else will inevitably take their place.
And that's where the song takes a really dark turn.
Yeah, with lines like, justice whispers, but the truth's a lie.
It's almost Orwellian, that sense of truth being manipulated.
Like truth becomes a weapon in the war.
And then it goes even further with, truth is buried, lies take hold.
It's like once the fighting starts, truth becomes another casualty.
It makes you think about all the propaganda, the misinformation that's spread during wartime.
How do you even know what to believe anymore?
It's a real challenge.
And then the song brings it back to the human cost of war.
The individuals caught in the crossfire.
With lines like, hollow streets, sirens scream.
You can practically hear the chaos.
And blood runs deep in a broken dream.
That line is so poignant.
It's not just about physical destruction, it's about the shattering of hopes and dreams.
The future that people envisioned, it's all ripped away.
And then it gets even more personal with a child cries, a mother prays.
Oh, that one always gets to me.
You can't help but feel the pain and suffering.
It reminds us that behind the statistics, there are real people.
Families are torn apart, lives are lost.
Hope dissolves in shattered days.
It's like the war consumes everything, leaving only emptiness in its wake.
And that feeling of hopelessness, it's palpable in the song.
Like in the lines, no more sides, no more kings, only ghosts and shattered wings.
It's saying that no matter who wins, everyone loses something.
Those shattered wings, it's such a powerful image.
It represents the loss of innocence, of potential.
And then that final line, the war we made, the price we paid, only shadows and silence remain.
It's a chilling thought, isn't it?
All that sacrifice, all that suffering, and for what?
It's like the song is saying that war ultimately achieves nothing.
It meets us with a sense of emptiness, of futility.
And it makes you wonder, can we ever break this cycle?
Can we learn from the mistakes of the past?
Or are we doomed to repeat them, leaving only shadows and silence behind?
It's a question that haunts me.
It should haunt us all.
Because the cost of war is just too high.
We need to find a better way.
A way to resolve our conflicts without resorting to violence.
Because the alternative is just too terrible to contemplate.
And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder that question.
What can we do to prevent future civil wars?
How can we build a world where peace prevails?
It's a challenge, but it's one we must face.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep thinking, keep questioning, and keep striving for a better future.
And remember, the choices we make today will shape the world of tomorrow.
So let's choose wisely.
Absolutely.